Hello.
Really?
Yeah.
I am surprised by that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
This is so cutthroat. So at 2 players. I'll be damned. That's mine. If you don't have a sturdy relationship with your spouse, you don't play this game. We're not that different. It hasn't failed yet. Okay, so I'm really surprised now.
I was like, it's adorable. It has trees. It became 2 years ago that Brad and I played that ended all other times he will play this game with me.
Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
And I'm Aura.
And we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Today we're going to go over our top 10 couples games. Well, it's top 10 couples games that we play, and I'm not saying they're the top 10 of all time because every couple is different. There's been a couple that have fallen flat for us that is like, oh, these are the couples games. We played Codenames, and that was a big eh. We played Fox in the Forest, another card game.
I remember.
Yeah, it didn't go well. So it's been a constant kind of like, ooh, let's try this and see what we can find and find games that we like. And the more mechanics she's exposed to, the more you're like, she's a competitor. She's not a good loser.
But you've also played a lot more of the games than I have, too. So there is that. And I'm sure that with me being exposed as much as you are to games over time and the more things that we play, I mean, our list could change. Our list could absolutely change from what it is today. These are really just what we've played quite a few together. We've played quite a few. But I feel like of all the ones that you've played, there's still a lot that we could explore as a couple and ones that we've played as a group, but we haven't played just the two of us. Right. So over time, this list could absolutely.
Yeah, and these are not all the games she's played. These are the games we play as 2 players. Like, these are the games we continually go to of the short list, our top 10, and I'm ranking the ones that I like, and she's ranking them in her order, so they're the same games, but you're going to find out where we like them and which ones we like the most. So it'll be interesting because we've not done this, and we haven't talked about it, so it'll be like, this is the game I like the best.
Yes. And it'll give you a little bit of insight into us, too, because this is what we do. This is what we do on our nights alone together. We sit and we play board games. This is date night. We play board games, and we eat food, and we play board games.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start. So she'll have the number 1 at the end, so stick around to the end to find out what our number 1 is. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end that she's waiting to throw a bomb on me. We'll see what that is. All right. My number 10 that we play is my least favorite, we'll say is the one we play, is Isle of Cats.
Really?
Yeah.
I am surprised by that. Yeah. I did not know that would come up on your bottom of the list.
Yeah,
that's
so as, bottom is your top 10, right? But this is out of the games we play, I think this game is beautiful. But this is my number 10.
Is it just as a couple game, or do you think it also like on your list of games you're also not a big fan?
I like Isle of Cats. It's in my top 40, but it wasn't like high in my top 40.
Yeah.
Now I play this the family way because I think it's easier to get to table. When I want something a little bit meatier, there's a lot of other games, even in our couples games that we play that are heavier than this that I enjoy. And I think that's might be one of the reasons it's number 10 on this list is just because I don't find it's fun.
It's not stimulating.
Yeah, it's the artistry on this is a beautiful game. I love the way the cats look. I love the way the boards look. There's a lot I like about this game, but it's just we play it with kids, kind of.
It's easy to start up. It's easy for people, if you're playing with people that don't play a lot of board games, just to get started in something. It's not very intimidating, but you're right. It also does not stimulate at all. So
this is a good
good non-thinking game.
Yeah, it's a good gateway game. You might. Well, there's a lot of thinking.
Here's the thing,
but you're not going to win if you don't think.
I get competitive with it, and that might be one of the reasons I have never lost at that. I have won every single. That might be part of the reason why it's not anywhere near the top.
I lose at everything.
You do lose at everything.
So you can't throw that at me.
That's true. But that one I tend to dominate pretty heavily.
She has. I don't think you've lost a game against anybody.
I have horribly beat everyone I've played in that game so far.
I would agree. So that's my number 10 of our couples games. What's your number 10?
This is going to surprise you.
Okay.
All right. It's actually going to be Timeline.
I don't. Well, I guess you really liked it when we had it.
I really did. Okay, and here is why it's number 10. First of all, there are two different versions. There's the Americana and the Inventions. Are there other ones that?
There's a whole series.
Okay,
yeah.
And these are the only two that we've tried. So I really love the Inventions one. I thought it was great. The facts that are in there, the way that you set it up, I think this was really cool. This was really one of the first ones that we played together.
Yeah.
Just as a couple, and it was great, and I dominated at this as well. Here's the thing with it though, it's like once
a few
you,
times too.
yeah, that's true.
Not a complete losing streak
Actually,
over
I
here.
think Liam beat me a few times. I don't know if that was you. Liam definitely beat me a couple of times at this because he's also, into history and everything. The problem with it is once you've played it a couple of times, if you have a good memory, you memorize when things were invented. And so it has a really short life. It's not like it mixes it up and you get new information. Once you've gone through the game a few times, you pretty much know it. And then at that point, it's just, I've memorized everything.
And I think
There's
that's why
not any
we got Americana because of that. But then we like the invention side more than the history side of it.
Well, it was like American pop culture history and like baseball and I don't know, just different things like that. Some of it was interesting. It just didn't hit the type of history that I enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, that's where that was. And I'm sure if they can, if we tried out another one that had some history that I enjoyed more, that'd be great. But again, very short shelf life. It's gonna one and done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's your number 10.
That's my number 10.
Alrighty. On to number 9. Let's see. That is my number 9. Is Timelines. So yeah, that would be my second is Timelines. I'm not gonna rehash it. It's for the same reasons. We've enjoyed it. I'd say we've outlived it now.
We haven't touched it in over a year.
While. Yeah.
Like a year and a half. It's been like a year and a half since we played that game.
And I didn't realize it's been that long.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Timelines.
Yeah.
Your number 9.
And I'm number 9 is also going to surprise you. Super Mega Lucky Box. Here's the thing. I really like this game. I really like playing this game with a group of people. And again, it's one of those that you can start up pretty easily. We just played it the other night with somebody that's not a game player at all. And, it's easy to teach. It's easy to get going. It's
an intro game.
It's an intro
game. People into the hobby.
Yeah. So if you've got people that you're inviting over that aren't game players, like this is fun. Everybody likes this. But for you and me, it's just kind of like, all right, we've done this, and I don't know. I'd just rather do something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Challenging, a little bit more thinky.
That's
a word now, right? Thinky.
Yeah, it's a thinky. Thinky game.
It's a thinky game.
I'm not surprised at all. But well, we'll get to it I'll talk about it when it's my turn. So that's your number 9.
That is my number 9, yes.
Alrighty. So, I guess my number 8, Super Mega Lucky Box. So, I have talked about this. If you see some of my old videos, this is one of my top games to buy for Christmas. The reason I like this game so much, and I'm 30 games into this, right? In the last 6 months or so since I bought it, which is a lot. I mean, a lot of people, but when you think about the number of games you have and you keep pulling one of these out, we play this a lot at the end of our game night. Anytime we want to teach somebody new and get them into gaming, this has
spilling things all over itself.
This has a chaining mechanic where it's gamers bingo. So you're getting people to start thinking beyond just like, I'm rolling dice and I'm putting something here, and it's, there's more to it. And then when people start to realize there's more to games than just, I'm learning a word by, in Scrabble, or it's sorry and I'm moving something around. There's a little bit of thinking and a little bit more. This is great. And it's 15 to 20 minutes and everybody can play this game.
Yeah, I think everybody's used to the same game
that doesn't like to play this game. And it will still be the group you're with, but it really is. You can make it fun, have fun, and be like, oh my God, I get to do this.
This is about the only one that the kids regularly will say they'll play with us.
So, and you can all the way up to grandma and grandpa. Anybody can play this game and have fun to it.
Yep.
So that is my number 8.
So now my number 8.
9, 8. Yeah.
All right.
We'll have some mixes, maybe.
Trails. I do like this game.
This was our first of the 2.
Yeah. So I don't want to elaborate too much on why it's not. I think it's like I just like other ones better. I really like it though. I think it's fun and I think it's great. Until I found other things.
Yeah, and it's
This is a good fast one. So
Yeah.
it's the more abbreviated version of their other game. So it's kind of one of those, like, we could, like, take it with us somewhere, or if we just had a limited amount of time and we're like, oh, let's play a real quick game. This would be a good one, but it really is just more of a filler, really fast. Not the centerpiece, not the main course.
Right. And it's a travel version, right? So this is...
We could take that on trips with us. If we wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Keymaster, this is we were starting to like some Keymaster games. So, absolutely. Wow, we are right in neck and neck here. I just
Really?
have one off. This is mine.
Oh,
This is
wow.
my number 7.
This is so cool.
This is funny. So I got this because I didn't want to plunge all the way into other Keymaster games. This is cheap. This gives you the mechanic, and it feels... And I can't say every Keymaster game is like this, but you start to get an idea of what their games are like, and it's beautiful.
It is a really beautiful game.
Basic meeples, little cubes. They're using just basic wooden cubes, but the cards and everything are still gorgeous. And if you like this gameplay where you're moving back and forth, and you can play this up to 4 players. We've played another game up to 3. I don't know if I'd want to play this at 4, but
I
it's
don't think
really
so
good
either.
at 2.
Yeah.
Like, you're not doing a lot of blocking at 2. At 3, you start to get blocking, which makes it more strategic when you're doing that. But this is a nice little 2-player game. You know, I like doing the board game and breakfast, and this is especially on the weekends, and this is a nice one to just play at breakfast. You know,
Yeah, that's true. Because you don't have to get super involved.
you're not too
with
worried about
it.
getting
There's
food
not a lot
on
of
it or things like
pieces.
that, and it's an easy one to bring out and get to the table.
Yeah,
So-
and I like, you know, because I hike a lot and camp a lot. You do not camp ever. So I enjoy pieces of it from, you know, a natural standpoint of just the taking photos, the different trails, you know, drawing attention to the different parks, the leave no trace principles that are mentioned in there. So, yeah.
And so I've talked about it when you're trying to get people into gaming, and you know the hobby is you know, because people think of board games and you know you grow up with a bunch, but unless you grew up with board game family, you don't think of board games beyond things that you're buying at Target
Beyond
and
Parker
Walmart.
Brothers.
Beyond Parker Brothers and Hasbro, right? And she loves nature, so trying to get her into something, this attracted her into it, and then she was interested in learning and being willing to learn the mechanic. And it's once again, once you get somebody to learn a mechanic in board gaming, they know that mechanic across everything, and you can continue to reference it.
Yeah, and I think that's been the biggest challenge is, you know, being so unfamiliar with it and then learning the mechanics. But as it's going through and you're introducing new games, I'm like, okay, this is great. I think there for a while, it was always a new game you were introducing, and I had no familiarity with the mechanics. And so I think I was frustrated with you a couple times, and I was like, can we just like not learn a new game tonight? Can we play one that we already know?
That's difficult. Oh, look, it's a new game. I got a shiny game.
He wants to like open the game up and, you know, break the seal and put it all out and play with it and see everything. And you know, so I know you get excited about it. And it's getting easier for me when you get excited like that and you want to pull out a new game and we can play it together because I'm starting to understand the mechanics better. So
Yep.
I'm early in this journey.
Yep. But we're getting to some of the same things. So that's my 9, 10, 9, 8. That was 7. That was my 7. So what is your 7?
My 7 is Azul.
That's a
I
good
do
game.
like this game.
It's
I like
this is another one of our first games that we got, and this is so cutthroat. So at 2 players, and we both like cutthroat stuff. There's
Yes,
not like
we
she
definitely
might
like
sit
to-
there and be like, no, I don't like. She loves cutthroat. She loves
do.
to like blast
I
these
do.
tiles down to the floor on my
Yes.
board. Is most best.
I like to do those sabotage moves where I'm like, oh, I know this is going to be bad for you if I do this. Make you drop all of the tiles and take all the points down. So
it gets
sorry.
shiny if you put it on an angle. I've learned that the hard way. So
Yeah. So yeah, I like it. I do. It didn't make like my very top just because
We've
it's
got new
another
games.
fast. Yeah, we've got new games. We got new games. I'm starting to enjoy the ones with some strategy and some other
right.
But it's a good game.
Which this still has, but it's it's another great intro game. Learning to score it I think is the hard, and it's not that the scoring is hard, but I would say that was the only thing we had to figure out. And
Yeah,
it's the
'cause
scoring at the very beginning, the first 2 tiles you put out. I think they could clarify that a little easier, but other than that,
Yeah, I think we weren't playing it right for the first little bit, but that's a kind of a common theme when playing with Brad. Is there? We discussed this the other day, game night. Is that there are many times that the first couple times we play the game, we're not playing it exactly correct.
So we get 90% of the rolls
get
right, and we still
yeah.
have fun.
We do.
So.
But then later on, it's a common phrase that I hear out of your mouth. So we've been playing this wrong. And I'm like,
That's why
I'm
we
not
have
surprised.
First impressions and reviews.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
But we've played all these games a lot.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is, and that might be why it's not as high up on the list because we played it a lot of times.
Mhm.
And, I think maybe after a while, once it's out of the rotation for a little bit, throw it back in
Bring
there
it
and be
in.
like, oh,
Yep.
a familiar friend.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
How about you put that
Okay,
over
I'll
there?
put that there.
Alrighty.
What you got next? What you got next?
Are we putting you to sleep or are we making you laugh with our banter? I'll be damned. That's mine. Number 6. You're beating me to the punch every time. So, Azul,
There you go.
for all the same reasons we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And the components, so I like a beautiful game. You like a beautiful game as well. The components in this are really nice. I was really surprised. And if you've played Hive or if you've played any of these where it's a heavy weight, and I'm not sure what the resin that they
Yeah, I like
use.
the way they feel.
It's not
They've got,
ceramic,
like, a good
but
weight and
it's
they make
yeah.
clicky sounds.
And yeah,
It's
the
what
games
it
that
is.
have put the money into those resin components like that,
Mm-hmm.
they're just really nice. So
All right.
that
You
was
ready for my next one?
that was my what was that? Now I got
I don't know.
10,
I
9,
don't know
8,
where we're
7,
at.
6. That was my number 6.
You ready for mine?
I am gonna put
And I have this box next to you, sir.
ah!
Isle of Cats. And we discussed this earlier. Pretty
Yep.
much the same things, Love it. And actually, I think probably Hayden plays that more than anybody else. He seems to always have that game with him when he's taking it to play with a group of people. So
Right.
again, same thing. Intro
Mhm.
game,
Mhm.
good stuff. I won't go over it again. All
Yep.
right, what you got next?
What do I have next? So this is a new one to us, and I would say it's
I think I know where you're going with
so
this.
with a caveat. This is a cutthroat game, so if you don't have a sturdy relationship with your spouse, you don't play this game.
I know.
But this is
what
a
you're-
fun game. We like a lot, and this is another one from Keystone Games. Like I said, this is kind of on a roll. So, Caper Europe. Haven't played the first one, but it's another one. It's beautiful. I really like it's kind of has this minimalistic style as well as the European style, and then the characters themselves are really cute. I just
Mhm.
they're like the long and skinny characters. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's not expressionism. I can't think of the actual term
Yeah.
for
This
what
kind
that.
of exaggerated features. in the
Yeah,
drawings.
but they're
Yeah.
like all to me they feel like the tall, skinny
Yeah.
cartoons versus
Mhm.
something else. But I think this is a beautiful game.
It is very cutthroat, and that's
It is.
that's the reason that you want to make sure, because I like he said, I am competitive. I can be a little cutthroat, and
Blankety blank blank.
I get really. But here's the thing: I get upset with myself when I feel like I've done something that might have caused me to lose, and I'm like, and I want to do so many things, and then I can't do them all, and
Nope.
yeah. So
But beautiful games that play well. They shoot
with the right partner.
right to the top of the list. Yeah. So for a couples game, just be aware, like it's cutthroat, and it's drafting. So you're gonna take one card, and then you're gonna pass the whole hand to the other person, which is nice because you don't feel like you're getting screwed by getting a bad hand. Like you get, somebody else gets all 5 great cards, and then you're
Mhm.
stuck with all 5 horrible cards. You're gonna get one good card, and then they're gonna get one good card, back and forth. But in that it feels take thatty, but it isn't really.
Mhm.
But that, oh well, I didn't take that, and I know that card that's gonna burn my card next is coming out, and she's gonna
Mhm.
So I really like this game.
All right, you ready for mine?
I am. You're number 5.
I'm doing Castles of Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy.
I like this game.
And
I like this game a lot.
intro to Euro games right here. This is my gateway. This is my gateway into getting you to some heavy games.
I really like this game. I enjoy it. It took a little while for me to like it. Just because the first game we weren't playing it, right?
Well, the first game.
Surprise.
But the first game this is so point salad. Like, you get points, you breathe and you're getting points in this game, it seems. And so it's not that we weren't playing it right. We were having a hard time keeping up with the number of points.
Well, there were a couple of things that we weren't doing right. Yeah, but now that we're there were a lot of instructions. I think we had to watch the video, and I was very tired that day too. Mm-hmm. We had to watch different videos on gameplay for it.
And we watched Rodney, and Rodney's great, but he talks really fast.
He does. And I think that's with a lot of it. And it's, I guess getting it in at a certain time. So there was a lot of rewind and like listen a little closer and like, oh, did we understand that correctly? Mm-hmm. This one took us a while to learn, and I don't know 100% how much that had to do with, me being tired or just being a complicated game, or there are just a lot of aspects to it. But as we're getting to know it better, I enjoy it. It is one that I really like. So, yeah.
I really like this one as well. I think I've talked about this on my top. This is my top 20 of all times. I think between 11 and 20. And I just saw on BGG forum Facebook forum I'm on, somebody talking about this being an intro Euro game, and I kind of have that feeling about it, and I'm just kind of like, do you think this is a entryway Euro game? Because I kind of do, and it gets you into this whole new world once you get into this, because Euro games are a completely different beast, right?
And I think we're still early enough in this game that us playing it together that we're not bored of it yet either.
Yeah.
That
there's so many
keeps
different options with this. This one's stinky. This one.
It is, yeah.
Just in being thought. And guess what? My number 4. So we don't need to go over it again. So we're gonna move a little faster.
All right.
But, this is a good game. There's a reason that everybody talks about this game. Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
It could be one of your top 10s.
It's good. It's good. It's got a lot of good stuff. And it's hard to tell who's winning until the very end. Mm-hmm. It's
well, they do have the point track, but
they have the point track. But then there's the other things too.
Yeah, at the end of the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of end of the game points. All right, you ready for mine?
I am. You're number 5.
I'm going with Parks.
So now you can talk a little bit more.
Okay. I like this one better. Because there are more things that you can do. It expands. All right.
Yeah, it's the light. It's not my fault. I'd let you do it if it wasn't shiny in the camera.
I should know this. I'm a photographer, but I want to look at it. I want to look at it too. It's got a lot more things that you can do than the smaller version. There's just, more cards, more purchasing parks, and these little cards do this. And I guess what you were talking about with the chaining effect of, you get this card, so it lets you get a discount on that. And so there's more strategy, more potential. Now, what you were talking about earlier, we've tried playing this with a third person. It gets harder and harder with each extra person. Like, for us playing it together, it's actually pretty easy to go along. I would imagine it would get really difficult to move along and more challenging the more people you have.
Yeah, so I thought 3 was fine. I think 4 would be a bit overcrowded because you're not allowed to go in the same spot somebody else is unless you use your campfire, and you only get to do that once.
And you can only go, I think it's 2 people can only have a max of 2 people in each one.
I didn't see that in the rules.
Yeah, I thought I remembered seeing that. Maybe I'm wrong.
If you can you have more than 2 people on a map?
Can you have more than 2?
I didn't see anything in the rules, so I think all 4 people could be on the same tile, but after the first person, you have to use that fire.
Yeah, but I like it how they tie that in, and they say, it's like the leave no trace kind of principle. And I find that it goes really well with the hiking, camping,
and
backpacking.
And she noticed things like, so in hiking, when you're going out for a huge hike in Montana and things, right? You start small, right? And small could be 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles before you get to that 15, 25, 8-hour day. And you're the one that mentioned it. This simulates that. You start out with a shorter trail in the first season or first year, and then the trail gets longer in the second, third, and fourth. So there's 4 seasons, 4 years, however you want to look at it, and you're getting more experienced, so you're going to see more and more and longer trails. So they really, whether they meant to do that or not.
Oh, this had to be created with backpackers on,
Yeah, so it's
just behind the design.
And it's gorgeous. Like, I would say, other than Castles of Burgundy, that's one thing that you're going to see about all these games. they're really pretty.
They are.
So you want to put that one on your side?
Sure.
All right.
What you got?
I have Parks.
Are we surprised at this point that our list is basically
Literally,
identical?
it's the same freaking thing. All right,
Yes.
except for Isle of Cats.
Isle of Cats was close. We weren't that
So
far.
that's
All right,
my
are we
number
ready for my next
4
one?
and her number 5. Yes, we
That's
are ready.
pretty- that's
Or no, that was
probably-
my number 3. Parks is my number 3.
Oh, okay.
You are number
My
3.
number 3.
Dun, dun.
Hadrian's Wall.
We are not that different.
Oh gosh. All right, so I might have even. I really love this game. I love this game a lot. We
And this
haven't
is-
played this
this-
a whole lot as just the two of us. I think we've done it a
But
few
we
times.
have.
I have really enjoyed it. I enjoy it with a group. This is, I could say, across the board, not just as a couples game, but as a game in general. I
Mm-hmm.
really, really like Hadrian's Wall. It was really confusing for me in the beginning. Trying to learn because I'd never played anything like this before.
And this is intimidating for gamers, let alone, I would say your intro game,
Mm-hmm,
right? You're not anymore, but at the time we were playing this,
Oh, I was
'Cause we got it right
very
at the top.
green.
so I was just trying to get her into stuff, and
I really like it though,
Mm-hmm.
and the more I play it, I think the more I like it. I enjoy the fact that I'm getting better at it. I
Mm-hmm.
like a game that I can play that I feel like there's room, and that's probably why some of the ones that are at the bottom of my list are at the bottom of my list because there's no room for improvement. Like you get to a certain point, and you're like, okay, that's good. This has a lot of room for improvement in my gameplay ability. So yeah,
yeah, we
high
were.
on the list.
We'll either keep the sheets and and I record everything on, an app, so we can kind of go back and look and see what our high scores were. And
Mm.
even if you won the game, did you beat something else before and things like that? So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
This is my number 2. So this is, I get it. This is an intimidating game, but the reason I like this, and I've talked about this before, if you get this for $15, you're gonna like this. I think this is 50. It might be 60 now with the different prices going on, but this is a great flipping right. This,
Yeah, it's got that chaining. It's like you get this, and then you get this, and then you get
you
this.
get a dopamine effect every
Yeah.
time you're chaining. You're just sitting there, and there's
You're like, oh, I get to do this now. Oh, and then I can take that, and I get to do that. And so there's a lot of like active
Yeah.
things that you're doing right there. It's fun. Yeah.
I mean, I've played it now 10 times. May seem like a lot to some people, may not seem like a lot to others. But like I said, trying to play a bunch of games and still getting a game like that out at the table, and everybody. This is another one. It hasn't failed yet.
Yeah.
There's not been one person that has not enjoyed this and been like, oh my god, I really
Yeah.
like that. And then you can play this solitaire. You can play this. There's 5 or 6 people. I think you can play this. Yeah, I know you can play it with at least with 6 players.
6 players. Yeah.
And it's not going to. It doesn't change the game at all. It doesn't change the length of the game. Doesn't change your blocking. It doesn't. It's not how it works. So
yeah.
yeah, it's. If you haven't checked out Hadrian's Wall, really
Yeah.
recommend it.
Yeah. It's a good one.
So
All right.
I'm going to let you say our number 1.
No, I have to do my number 2.
Oh, your number 2.
I haven't done my number 2 yet. You did your. That was just
Oh,
your,
that was my number 2.
that was your
That's
number 2.
right. That's right.
My number 2 is Everdell.
Okay, so I'm really surprised now.
About what my number 1 is, right?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Because you're not keeping track. All right, Everdell. I love this game. This game is great.
We did a playthrough
I
of it.
love it. Yes, it's awesome.
We did a
I like
unboxing
everything
of it.
about it. I like the way it looks. I like the way you can play with it. I like the 2 of us can play and it's fun. And you get more of us in there playing, and that's fun too. Yeah, I like it. There have been a couple of times I think we played and we got some crappy cards and we were just like, oh, this is frustrating. But even then, it's still fun. Even when it's not fun, it's fun.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if this made my top 10, but it's in my top 15 for sure of all time. This one surprised me. Like, I got this, so I got Trails because of Nature Girl. I got this because I kept thinking about it, and then
I asked for it. Yeah, I
it
was like,
popped
I
up
would
on your
really
feed or
like
something
this
like-
game.
And she saw the little badger and the little mouse.
I was like,
and
it's adorable. It has trees.
And so that kind of cemented this was Christmas gift.
Yeah,
And the deluxe version, you don't need the deluxe version. It plays the same.
but it's got a lot of nice features.
Yeah, it
the
does.
little extra.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like 'em.
just, if you don't want to spend the money, don't worry about it. It's not going to change the game. But But yeah, this one surprised me. I got this basically to be like, because I'm not the nature guy, and you wouldn't know that now that I've been playing some of these nature games. They're nice.
Mhm.
The game.
The game itself is great.
The game is great. The game is absolutely great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the nature. Like by not, you're always like, where am I going to spend my money, right? And if if I'm looking at space or if I'm looking at Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff versus nature, I'm going with those games. But now that we've played some of these games, like yeah, the game is there and they are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. So my number 1 is Caper. Okay, let me.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
I'm shocked.
I'm gonna have to break this down for you. And this could be part of this could be because we just started playing this game. This is very, very new for us. So I am still learning it, and I'm really intrigued by anything that I'm still learning how to do. And I will mirror what you said earlier, that there is a caveat with that, and that is that you might fight. You might argue, especially if someone happens to be competitive. I am
It'd be you.
I am very competitive.
Well, I'm competitive too. But
yes, but I get frustrated if I'm not picking up on something, or if I make a poor move and I'm like mad at myself and I'm like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that and son of a bee, and I'm like, I get mad about it. And it's not like genuine anger, it's just me being like competitive and in my zone. And then we're still trying to learn a couple of like the scoring and
so the game is great.
rules.
It falls down a little bit trying to score everything.
Yeah, because
Like-
we've a couple times flipped back to the instructions and been like, are we doing this right? Are you sure? I don't know if that sounds right. If
we
you're
look it
supposed
up
to do
online
this,
and then
you're
it's like,
supposed to
okay,
do that.
that's how you do it. But
Exactly.
it's so the game's beautiful, plays well,
Mhm.
and then at the scoring, you're kind of like, if you had to just play the game as a scoring game, you'd be like, this is a 1 out of 10.
even moving, in the middle when we're like, oh, when we put this down, do we get to move that 1 time or 2 times?
Yeah.
There was some discussion
But-
there about
but
it
once you
too,
know
and some
that-
back and forth.
Once you
Yeah.
know that, that's not an issue. Scoring will always be an
Yeah.
issue.
But I'm currently really intrigued by it, and I think it's a fun game. And who knows how long it'll stay at the top? Because with me, once I learn a game and I played it a little while, I might get bored with it, and it may end up at the bottom, and then the strategy games coming more to the top, the ones that are a little bit stick around a little longer.
Yep.
So similar to Caper, something that would be on the top of my list that someone has not played with me in 2 years. The memory came up on Facebook the other day. It came 2 years ago that Brad and I played that ended all other times he will play this game with me, which is Monopoly.
Yeah.
It does bring out the worst in me. I do get very competitive. I am like, oh, I'm gonna like do this and then you won't be able to do that. And I win, and I'm not a good winner. I'm not a very good winner because with certain games. And I think that one goes back. I have a large family, a very large family. I have 5 brothers and sisters, and we played Monopoly a lot. And it was like super competitive, like next level. You were not used to that intensity.
I could do cards. I was brought up with cards
Yeah.
at that level, but not Monopoly.
Yeah.
Not at that level.
We would have
I won't play with her again.
all night Monopoly, like legitimately all night Monopoly games with my siblings that they got intense.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
especially because I had a brother who would cheat every game. So he's watching this. You know what you did. You know you cheated.
So that concludes our top 10 couples games
Mm-hmm.
that we like.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll like some of them as well. And if you like some of our games, watch some of our other games. We're going to do a couple more reviews of some of these you just saw. So you'll see us again. Have a great night.
Bye.